Hello and welcome to Cascade High School in Clayton, Indiana. My name is Lec Zorn and I'll be bringing you all the action as your Cascade Cadets challenge the Speedway Sparkplugs in Game 17 of the Indiana High School basketball season. Well, Cascade enters this game with a record of 6-10, having struggled to fill the offensive holes left by last season's double-figure scoring seniors Evan Birch, now playing for Franklin College, and Alec Alderson. However, as they head into their last 6 regular season games, the Cadets seem to be peaking at the right time. A week ago Tuesday, Cascade played probably their best game of the season, beating South Putnam 63-48. That was followed by 2 tough but understandable losses to much more heralded teams, 64-43 to Indian Creek, a very good Class 3A team, and 62-42 to Cloverdale, who features the leading scorer in the state, sharp-shooting, swift-penetrating 5'9" guard Jalen Moore, who's headed to play at Utah State. Finally, Cascade got a big road win last night at North Putnam, 57-44. Tonight, the Cadets try for their first winning streak of the season, and it looks like they have a good chance to do it. Their opponent is the Speedway Sparkplugs, who, after having great success for much of this decade, winning 3 sectionals and a regional, are now in rebuilding mode. They enter the game with a record of only 1-11, though their average point differential is not terrible at -11, and 4 of their losses have been by single digits. Now, Cascade is led in scoring by 6'5" senior Dalton DuBois, who leads the team in both scoring and rebounding with 19.2 and 6.6 per game. He's followed a distant second by 5'9" senior Michael Alderson, who averages 7.8 points and a team-high 3.3 assists a game. However, the scoring goes way down from there, with no other cadet averaging as many as 5 points. Junior Benson Walker, the tallest player on the team at 6'6", however, has come on strong of late, and he averages 4.6 points and 3.3 rebounds a game. Meanwhile, 6' senior Chase Western averages 4.5 points a game, and 5'11" junior Ross Stevenson averages 4 points a game. Meanwhile, for Speedway, the Sparkplugs are led in scoring by 6'3" junior Alex Moore, who averages 15.3 points, which leads the team, as well as 5.4 rebounds, which is second highest on the team. He's followed by 5'11" senior Chris Valentine with 13.1 points and 4.1 rebounds a game. 6'1" senior Dominique Hampton, who averages 5.9 points and a team-high 5.8 rebounds a game. 6'2" junior Kyle Smith, who averages 4.1 points a game. And 5'9" junior Devin Valentine, who averages 2.6 points per game. Cascade's head coach is Cascade's head coach is Chris DuBois, who's 121 and 183 in his 14th season with the Cadets. Meanwhile, Speedway's head coach is Charles Bennett, who's 135 and 186 in his 15th season with the Sparkplugs. Well, at this time, we'll take a short pause for a few words from our sponsors, and then we'll be back with the opening tip-off. Cascade Speedway coming at you live next. The Cascade High School Athletic Department simply would not be able to operate without the financial support of our business partners. We would like to recognize and thank them for their generosity. The official health provider to the Cadets, Hendricks Regional Health. Diamond Partners, Bestway Drywall and North Salem State Bank. Platinum Partners, Allen Irrigation Company, CJ's Pizza and Dunn Insurance Agency. Gold Partner, Endeavor Communications. Silver Partner, Electric Plus. And Bronze Partner, Hankey Photography and DMH Photographics. Thank you, business partners. Your support of the student athletes of Cascade High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Clayton, we're just a few minutes away from tip-off, and we have one of the best crowds of the season. You know, this has been an awful, awful winter, one of the worst of my lifetime, and I'm a 47-year-old lifelong Hoosier. But, you know, finally temperatures are starting to turn decent here as we head into the last weekend of January. Right now it's 40 degrees here in Clayton, with the high today having been 51. Tomorrow it's still supposed to be very good at 49. Supposed to dip back below freezing again a week from Monday, but nevertheless, it looks like the worst weather of the year is behind us, thankfully. And it looks like we have somewhere in the neighborhood of about 500 fans here in Clayton, and they appear to be still filing in at a steady rate here with the 11:45 to go on the pregame clock. I think we have about 100 fans who made the trip from Speedway about half an hour from here. Speedway is an enclave suburb of Indianapolis, of course. As the name implies, it is the home of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, of course, home of the Indianapolis 500, which is my second Christmas of the year. And we got the pep band here tonight. They're not here for every game, but they always add a little spark to the atmosphere when they're here. And I'm just disappointed that it looks like Speedway did not bring their mascot. They have one of the great mascots in Indiana high school sports in the Sparkplug. He actually is a spark plug with arms and legs and a smiley face who walks around the crowd. And I've been to a few Speedway games over the years, and he's always a great joy. And speaking of which, I remember last year my broadcast partner Rob Kindle and I commentated the game here at Cascade when their mascot, the Cadet, was introduced. And I don't think I've seen him all season, so that's been a real letdown. I really miss him. I wonder what happened to him, and I just wonder if maybe somebody stole the costume as a prank. But nevertheless, hopefully he'll be back. And after tonight, Speedway has 5 games left, 3 on the road, 2 here at home. We will be bringing you all the bringing you all the home games here on Audio Sports Online. The next one being 2 weeks from tonight against the Plainfield Quakers, a very good Class 4A team, featuring one of the top centers in the state in 6'11" Gavin Bizot, who's already committed to play collegiately next season at Duquesne University, an NCAA Division I school out in Pennsylvania. He will be a formidable challenge. In the meantime, we have 2 games on the road, the first of which, our next game will be Thursday, February 1st, out at Bethesda Christian in Brownsburg. So that's just a short drive across the county. Hope you all will get out there for that one. Bethesda Christian has had, quite a few good. They've quietly had a lot of success in recent years there in Division 1A. Understandably, however, getting lost in the shadow of the bigger schools here in the county. But nevertheless, they have a formidable program that's right now in rebuilding mode. The Patriots currently at 6-9, so certainly we have a good chance to win that game. And then we will be out of action on the boys' side for a week until a week from Friday. That's February 9th when we go out to Eminence out in Morgan County to play the Eels, another one of the great nicknames here in Indiana high school sports. That should be a very easy win. The Eels, our 1A team, are 4-10. And last year when my broadcast partner Rob Kindle and I commentated Eminence here at Cascade, it was not until the final 30 seconds of the first half that they got their second player to score. They had a player named Jeremy Glidden who scored all of their points up until the final 30 seconds of the first half. So anyway, that should be an easy win. So, after not winning 2 games in a row all season, it looks like the Cadets very well could end up winning their next 3, which would put them on a 4-game winning streak and bringing them within 1 game of 500, bringing them up to 9-10. Anyway, then 2 weeks from tonight, like I said, we've got the game out at Plainfield, and then we return. Then we go back for one more regular season road game on February 16th. That's 2 weeks from Friday against Western Boone, who's a Class 3A team. And ironically, one of our Cascade commentators here on Audio Sports Online, as well as one of our WYRZ commentators, is Colin Bruns, who's actually a student at Western Boone, and who appropriately I discovered while I was commentating Cascade's loss out at Western Boone in the playoffs in football last season. He was up there in the broadcast booth, and Western Boone does not have radio coverage, at least not for football. So what he did of his own accord was go up to the press box and record broadcasts himself and put them on YouTube. So, I recruited him onto the family here at audiosportsonline.com, and he's, I think, going to do a lot of great work for us over the years. A very promising young man. But anyway, but it's ironic, though, that we will be playing, not only that we'll be playing Western Boone, but also that Western Boone has been moved into our sectional in girls basketball. So we could be running into them in girls basketball a week from tonight for the championship. Speaking of which, I will be talking more about the girls sectional a little later on in the broadcast, mainly in the post game. And, I also mentioned Speedway being the spark plug. At halftime, I'm going to have a special treat for you, the best high school nicknames here in the state of Indiana. And if you think Sparkplugs is an odd one, you ain't heard nothing yet, because there are some ones that are even much crazier than that. And I mean that in a complimentary way. But anyway, back to Western Boone, though they are 6-9, so that that is a winnable game. And then finally, we close out the regular season here 2 weeks from Tuesday, or 3 weeks from Tuesday. That'll be our senior day as we play the Covenant Christian Warriors. They currently have a record of 4-11, so again, that's a very winnable game for us. So now with 5:30 to go on the pregame clock, I just want to talk, and as Cascade heads to the locker room to get some final instructions from Coach Du Bois, I'm going to talk a little bit about another sporting matter. Just this week, Vince McMahon, the head honcho of WWE, formerly WWF, announced that he is relaunching the XFL, the Pro Football League, that played one season in 2001 and was a colossal financial failure. And at that first year, well, the only year the only season they played, they were jointly owned by the WWE and NBC, and now this time McMahon is doing it all by himself. He's going to own all of the teams. So it's, he says, he wants to succeed or fail on his own. And, even though the league was a colossal failure, financially the first time, I really think that he has a fair shot to succeed this time. I don't mean be as big as the NFL or anything close to that, but I mean like make the league work where it lasts for a long time and is at least a moderate success. Because the XFL, it's easy to forget, the XFL was at least a moderate success in every way except for one, and that one was what did it in. I mean, their attendance was actually, better than they expected. They were anticipating 20,000 a game. They got 24,000 a game, which is about what the USFL got in its 3 seasons of play. Their cable ratings were adequate. I mean, they weren't anything great, but they weren't bad either. But unfortunately, their NBC ratings were colossal failures, and it was just a terrible mistake for NBC to put those games on prime time. I mean, that was a fatal error that really, there was no realistic way that a first-year league was going to get anything close to enough advertising revenue for primetime network broadcast. So, anyway, I think, if he puts it on cable, airing the games on Saturday and Sunday afternoons in, starting right after the NFL season opens, and, it gets rid of all the gimmicks, the silly WWE-type gimmicks that I think really kept people from taking the league seriously last time. I think the league will succeed. I think certainly it will last more than a year, and I hope it does anyway, because I love I would love to have a football league to provide a dose of the sport during the off season when a lot of us miss it. And another thing, he talked about giving it back to the fans, and it doesn't seem like the league is going to do as much NFL bashing as it did last time, but I think, it's clearly McMahon seems like he wants to capitalize on the disgust that a lot of fans have with the NFL over, the kneeling down over the national anthem, and just the overall, the politics being forced upon us. McMahon says people don't want to be subjected to politics when they watch sports, which of course is true, and why the NFL was foolish to allow Colin Kaepernick to kneel and get other players to do so, and another thing I like is that he says he's going to make it family friendly, which is good. Certainly, that's a welcome contrast to last time when he had sleazy scantily clad cheerleaders, which I thought really cheapened the game. Even though I did enjoy watching the games, that I just thought that was an unnecessary distraction. So I will be watching with a lot of interest. Another thing that's going to help is that this time they're going to spend 2 years before they play their first game versus 1 year last time, which I think will make a big difference. And then he's also going to go out and talk to fans and find out what they want. The one thing that I'm really skeptical about is he says he wants to get the game down to 2 hours. I just don't see any realistic way to do that, unless I think, I've commentated 69 high school football games. Those are 48-minute games as opposed to 60, and I believe only one of them has gone under 2 hours. Usually they go around 2:15, 2:30. So I don't think there's a realistic way to do that. He's talking about eliminating halftime. I don't like that. I think the people he talks to will tell him, no, we need halftime. But, I think he will listen to people. Certainly probably a lot more than he did last time, and I think that will help a lot, And so, anyway, now we got about 20 seconds left on Cascade. Okay, both teams are back, getting ready to line up for the national anthem here. So I will be prepared to take a short pause here in a few seconds. But, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm glad the league is back. And, and then, I always applaud people who try to redeem themselves. I've tried to do that several times in my life, and I'm glad McMahon is trying to do it as well and, find peace with himself after the failure of the first time of his first stint back in 2001. And at that, we will pause for the national anthem.
And to honor those who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our country. Tonight's anthem is being performed by Cascade Cadet Band under the direction of Mr. Doug McCoy. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Well, thank you to the Cascade Pep Band for that lovely rendition of the national anthem. Tuesday night when I commentated the girls' senior day game, we had a special treat. The seven Cascade Cascade Lady Cadet seniors actually sang the national anthem a cappella. That was really nice. It's the first time I ever recall a sung national anthem here at Cascade, and like I said, then I knew that the girls obviously could play basketball. I didn't know they could sing as well, so that was a really nice surprise. They did a really nice job with it. So anyway, now they're announcing the starting lineups here. And, this is a game on paper Cascade should win, especially because, Cascade Speedway, they only have two. They have Alex Moore at 6'3", Kyle Smith at 6'2", no one else under 6'1". So Dalton DuBois, and now they're honoring Dalton DuBois for having scored 1,000 points in his career. He's posing for a picture with his dad, head coach Chris DuBois, undoubtedly a proud dad at this time. So anyway, that's last year one of our seniors, Bailey Walker, also scored 1,000. On the girls' side, Bailey Walker, who a senior last season, scored 1,000 points in her career, and now she's having an outstanding freshman season at Franklin College. So hopefully Dalton will have similar success in college as well. So I'll tell you, fans, I think this is the biggest crowd I've seen here at Cascade all season, especially for a non-doubleheader, a boys-girls doubleheader. I think we probably have somewhere, in the neighborhood of 700 fans here now. Like I said, about 100 come from Speedway, and I think that it's really important for fans to go out and support their kids even when they're having a bad season like Speedway is. Like I said, the Sparkplugs at 1-11, but some schools are better than that at others. But I'll tell you, the Hendricks County schools seem to have very good fan loyalty and support of their kids, which is always great to see. And I know it makes the kids feel good to see that they're being cheered on even when they're having some struggles. So now the teams shake hands and get ready for the opening tip-off here. So Dalton DuBois, of course, jumps as always for Speedway. It's going to be, I'm really hoping that Vincent Walker, the 6'6" junior, will step into that role as our strong inside presence next season. Walker has shown a lot of promise, but nevertheless, DuBois should be able to dominate this game, and he's had some really big ones lately, including 29 against South Putnam a week ago Tuesday, which very possibly the best game Cascade's played all season. So now jumping against Dominique Hampton, and Cascade controls the tip. So bringing the ball up to start off for Cascade will be Bryson Phillips. He's a 5'9" junior who's earned a start tonight with some good play lately off the bench. So now ball tipped away, however, saved by Phillips. And now inside the three-point lane, pitches out for a long NBA three. No good there by Compliment. And now, but DuBois puts it up and swishes a three. So it's a 3-0 Cascade lead about 45 seconds into the game here against Speedway, the Sparkplugs. Don't forget, we will, and now a three-pointer there on the other end, no good. Rebound by Compliment, gives it up to DuBois. A minute gone in this game so far. Thank you, Dad, for the nice text. And so now Chase Western with the ball. It goes into the lane, pitches out to DuBois at the left perimeter. Thinks about a three. Now drives into the lane, spins around, puts it up off the glass. And let's see. There's a foul here. I think they're going to get Valentine for a reach-in. Or, excuse me, Hampton. Non-shooting foul, however, so inside to DuBois at the free throw line. Posts up, turnaround hook shot, no good. Hampton the rebound. So it's Speedway's ball now. This would be a very big win, for the Sparkplugs as they try to get their season back on track. And now inside to Hampton. Puts it off the glass, no good. However, Speedway controls the rebound. Blocked by Du Bois, however. Rebound by Compliment. And he's fouled, a very foolish foul there. A reach in on Chris Valentine. Charles Bennett is in his 15th season as the head coach at Speedway. He won 3 consecutive sectionals from 2012 to 2014, won a regional in 2013. But this year, the Sparkplugs in his 15th season are struggling. Should be better next year with their leading scorer, Alex Moore. He will be a senior. He should attract some college interest, especially if he grows a few more inches. So now Cascade with the ball in a 3-point lead. Du Bois had a 3-pointer. And, one reason why I think that Chris Du Bois will end up, getting quite a few college scholarship offers is not only his points per game, but that he can be, a dominating inside player. And yet he can do what he just did there, which is stick it from 3 as well. So he has all the Cascade points in this game, all on 3-pointers. It's a 6-0 cadet lead, 6-0 Cascade lead with 5:21 to go here in the second quarter. And a nice high-pressure defense there by Cascade. So now Chris Valentine with the ball inside the lane to Dominique Hampton. No good off the glass. He's missed 2 short-range shots already, Hampton has. So now Compliment brings it up. A nice spin around. However, he loses control. Hampton picks it away and gives the ball up and out. And now a 3-pointer there near the left corner is good. So that cuts it to 6-3 with 4:48 to go here. That was Devin Valentine for 3. And now at the other end, Ross Stevenson for 3. No good. Wow, that was an odd bounce in. So it bounces in. So Stevenson has 3 points now there. And it's a 9-3 Cascade lead. So now Hampton with the ball. Pitches over there to Chris Valentine. Now a 3-pointer there from the left perimeter, no good. Compliment pulls down the rebound. So Cascade nearly halfway through this first quarter. They have a 9-3 lead. All of the scoring for both teams coming on 3-point field goals. 2 by Du Bois. And now a near steal there. But Phillips gets it there on a save from Compliment. Now a 3 by Du Bois. He swishes it. So it's a 12-3 a Cascade lead with 9 points there by Du Bois. And this very large crowd tonight getting into it. That'd be great if we could, put this one away early. But a nice swift penetrating drive to the basket is good there by Chris Valentine. So the Valentines have combined for all of the Speedway points so far, and it's a 12-5 Cadets lead with 3:20 to go here in the first quarter at Clayton. Now a fake on the 3 by Phillips. He drives in, banks it in. So that's the first 2-point field goal by the Cadets tonight, and they lead it 14-5 here. So now Devin Valentine now up over for 3. No good off the back of the rim. And a rebound by Compliment. It was good. At least 3 Cadets went after the ball there. You like to see that effort. And now a 3-pointer by Du Bois. No good off the front of the rim. So Du Bois shows he's human after all, after that lights-out start. But then we got a steal there by Western. 2-on-2 fast breaks. And there's a collision there. And it's going to be a charge there against Western. So now Ian Birch and Mason Tharp entering the game for the Cadets. And now we've got a timeout here with 2:38 to go in the first quarter with Cascade on top of Speedway 14-5 here on audiosportsonline.com. Well, I'll tell you, this is, it's so important for Cascade to get off to a good start because, they've had so many tough games this year where they either, lost or, they won after a lot of struggling. And it would just be really good for them, especially to take advantage of, having a 1-11 opponent, to just stick the dagger in the heart early and put the game out of reach here in the first half. And, not raise their blood pressure, just get a good textbook win. And that would especially be welcome after some of the, tension I've gone through on the girls' side this year. And I'll tell you, I'm already getting tense thinking about that sectional next week. I'm pretty confident in our Tuesday's game against North Putnam. We'd be hard-pressed to lose that one, but I think we will beat Monrovia, but that it won't be a cakewalk. And then if we do get to the sectional championship game a week from tonight, I think it's going to be a war. And I think that I will probably, I probably need medical attention after the game from the tension, and that's only a slight exaggeration. Because I tend to get into, for some reason, I love commentating both the boys and the girls, but I do tend to, I do tend to do a lot more tense screaming and stuff like that during the girls' games. I get more emotional. And first free throw is good. Foul, by the way, coming on Ian Birch. He's a 6'1" junior, younger brother of Evan Birch, last year's leading scorer, now playing for Franklin College. And the second free throw is also good, cutting the lead to 14-7. So Cascade doubling up there on Speedway. Those free throws, by the way, were by Devin Valentine. He has 5. Chris Valentine has 5. Excuse me. And now it's a Phillips with the ball over to Birch. Now Du Bois fakes a 3, drives to the basket, and we got a reach in with 1:49 to go here in the first quarter at Clayton. So Tharp with the ball now. He's had some good games off the bench lately, giving he and Phillips and Walker. And now a three-pointer from the corner is good there by Western, his first point. So we've had 4 cadets score here in the first quarter. Cascade's hit 4 three-pointers already. No, 5, sorry. It has been 5. And now, turnaround hook shot, no good there. And Du Bois pulls down the rebound. The shot was by Chris Valentine. He is the senior for the Sparkplugs. And now, a very aggressive double team there on Tharp. But yeah, the way that Tharp and Walker Walker and Phillips, those 3 have really shown a lot of promise, and make me feel that next season is not going to be quite as much of a rebuilding project as I had feared. Because really, next year should be, but next year's it is going to be a rebuilding year for both the boys and especially the girls. The girls lose 7 seniors, including 4 players who started, I believe, every game or at least close to it. But the boys, they're not going to be hit quite as hard as far as the number of high-quality players, but they are going to lose by far their best player in Dalton Du Bois. And that alone is going to, and now as Cascade takes a timeout, that alone is going to be hard to replace. But anyway, though, this has been overall a very good first quarter for Cascade. 46.2 seconds left in the quarter. And, Speedway, obviously a lack of offensive weapons. They are 1-11. They are making a good effort trying to stay within striking distance, but this is just a rebuilding year. hopefully the fans will be patient with Coach Bennett, remembering the great work he's done with them in the past. Like I said, they won 3 consecutive sectionals from 2012 to 2014 and won the regional in 2013. It is Speedway overall a pretty good history. They won the Class 2A state championship back in 2002. So now Cascade looks like they very well might hold for the last shot. Speedway not putting any pressure. You know, when the Lady Cadets lost to Avon on Tuesday on Senior Day, Avon at one point in the fourth quarter ran over a minute off the clock without taking a shot. And that it really helped put the game away. And now a three-pointer as he falls down. Mason Tharp hits a three-pointer, the sixth cadet three-pointer of the first quarter. And at the end of one, Cascade leading Speedway 27. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors on audiosportsonline.com. The Cascade High School Athletic Department simply would not be able to operate without the financial help of our sponsors. We would like to recognize and thank them for their support. The official health provider to the Cadets, Hendricks Regional Health, Diamond Partners, Bestway Drywall, and North Salem State Bank, Platinum Partners, Allen Irrigation Company, CJ's Pizza, and Dunn Insurance Agency, Gold Partner Endeavor Communications, Silver Partner Electric Plus, and Bronze Partner Hankey Photography and DMH Photographics. Thank you, business partners. Your support of the student athletes of Cascade High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Clayton, we're about to start the second quarter with your Cascade Cadets on top of the Speedway Sparkplugs by a score of 27 here on audiosportsonline.com. It's a game in which Cascade has just been lights out in shooting, which is a refreshing change. The Cadets nailed 6 3-point field goals there in the first quarter. And their scoring breakdown is as follows. Dalton DuBois has 9. Ross Stevenson has 3. Chase Western has 3. Mason Tharp has 3, and Bryson Phillips has 2. Meanwhile, for Cascade, Devin Valentine has 4. For Speedway, Devin Valentine has 4, and Chris Valentine has 3. So now Tharp with the ball, posting up on DuBois, puts it up off the glass, blocked by DuBois, and Birch comes away with the rebound, gives it up to DuBois, who now tries to take it all the way himself, spins around, puts it up off the glass. He hits it. So Dalton DuBois with 11 points. That's his first 2-point field goal. He scored 9 points all on 3-point field goals in the first quarter. And Cascade now with a commanding 22-7 lead here. Game 17 out of 22 in the regular season. So now, once again, Hampton drives to the basket. This time puts it in. He had missed from short range 3 times prior to that. Hampton is the team's leading rebounder. He is a 6'1 senior for the Sparkplugs. 22-9 Cascade leading. And now a steal there. Speedway trying to stay in it. Fakes on a 3 there. Now a 3-pointer from the corner. In and out. That was Carmen Del Carabo there on the shot. So now on the other end, Tharp drives all the way in and lays it in. So Tharp with 5 points, and he's fallen down for all of them. He fell down on the 3 there right before the buzzer in the first quarter. So Tharp with 5 points now. But yeah, I'm starting to be hopeful based on the way Phillips, Tharp, and Walker have played lately that next season's not going to be quite the rebuilding season that I feared it would be. And now Kyle Smith lays in 2 for the Sparkplugs. His first points. It's a 24-11 lead now. Ian Birch with the ball. Over to Tharp, fakes a pass. Now he does pass inside to DuBois. And now dunk goes awry. Hampton went for the steal and missed it. And DuBois got a little too fancy. They're going for the dunk. Should have just laid it off the glass easily. So nevertheless, Cascade still with a very big lead. And now we got a double dribble there against Speedway. So 5:32 to go. And now Stevenson, Western, and Walker all coming into the game, whereas Du Bois, Birch, and Hurst all sitting down for Cascade with 5:32 to go here in the second quarter at Clayton. Got a great crowd here. Really refreshing, especially after all the low crowds that we got in those bad weather games. And not to mention the reschedulings that undoubtedly have hurt attendance. The reschedulings from, snow days. So now Western with the ball. Long three, no good off the front of the rim. Rebound there controlled by Chris Valentine, but it's a steal, however, by Compliment. .458 to go here in the second quarter. Cascade looks like they're on their way to their first winning streak of the season. They won at North Putnam last night, 57-44. Now drive to the basket, feeds Stevenson, and he's fouled going for the shot. So Russ Stevenson will be going to the free throw line for two. He has 3 points here in the game so far. Don't forget, at halftime, we're going to have a special feature on the best team, the best high school team names here in Indiana. There, as Stevenson hits the first one. It's a special feature that I do occasionally whenever, one of the teams I'm commentating has a really odd nickname, as Speedway does with the Sparkplugs. So Stevenson hits them both. He has 5 now. So balanced scoring for the Cadets. Du Bois is the on top as usual, but getting... And now a three-pointer there by Chris Valentine. He has a team-high 6 for the Sparkplugs. 26-14. For much of the game, Speedway's had about twice as many points as has... Cascade has had about twice as many points as has Speedway, and now Du Bois coming back into the game for Cascade. Walker sitting down. Now inside to Du Bois. Posts up on Hampton, turnaround hook shot. He hits it. Du Bois with a game-high 13. And it's a 28-14 Cascade lead. 4:04 to go here in the second quarter at Clayton. Now turnaround jumper inside the lane. There is good by Chris Valentine. He has 8. He has half of his team's points, in fact. Du Bois now brings it past midcourt. Inside the lane, and he draws the foul on Hampton. But yeah, when I saw the relative lack of size that Speedway has, I figured that Du Bois would have a big game, and that's what's happening so far. Okay, they determined it's a non-shooting foul. That was Hampton's second, by the way, team 6th, so one more Speedway foul, and Cascade will be in the bonus. Cascade themselves has committed only 2 fouls. And now inside to, and now they're going to get Hampton for another foul on Du Bois, so that's Hampton's third. He will likely sit down now. Although, certainly, maybe they'll, so far he's staying in. Maybe they figure that, without his inside presence, they're doomed. So Du Bois on a first free throw is no good. It was a 1-and-1. So they determined he was not in the act of shooting. Nevertheless, Speedway in the bonus. And now steal there, controlled by Compliment. I think it was Phillips who got the tip on it. And now Compliment starts to drive but pitches back out to Western now. Compliment gets it back near the far side of the court. And now Western on the baseline. Finds Stevenson, thinks about a 3. Now he drives to toward the basket, pitches back out to Compliment. 3:02 to go here in the second quarter. Cascade leading 28-16 over Speedway. So Stevenson with the ball. Now over to Compliment. Dribbles. Pitches cross court to Stevenson at the right perimeter. Now down in the corner to Phillips. Over to Compliment. Now wide open for three in the corner. No good there. That was Western. So Speedway controls the rebound. They're trying to stay alive here. And now a three-pointer from the corner. No good off the front of the rim. However, the Sparkplugs get the rebound. That was Devin Valentine there. And now Chris Valentine drives, puts up a floater. No good. Rebound by Compliment, or by Western, excuse me. Gives it to Stevenson. Stops his dribble. Pitches over to Du Bois, who brings it past midcourt with 2:10 to go. Cascade up by 12 here. Cadets playing their second game in as many days. They won, and now a drive to the basket. Reverse layup is no good there by Du Bois. Looks like he wanted a foul, didn't get it though. And the ball goes out of bounds to Cascade with 1:53 to go. So now Du Bois coming off a nice pick there by Western, and we got a foul. Western's not a big guy, so showing a lot of bravery setting that pick. Western only 6 feet tall, and he's not very well built either. Now we got a foul there. It's going to go against Devin Valentine, so Du Bois will be going back to the line. He has a game-high 13. His first one is up and good. No, sorry, it was apparently it was an air ball out of bounds, so I apologize for that optic illusion. So Du Bois now missed his last two at the line. Nevertheless, he's by far the MVP of this game. So now a fake on the three drive. Now pitches out, baseline jumper, no good there by Kyle Smith. And Compliment will bring it up for Cascade. 1:12 to go here in the first half. Cascade looks like they're going to be on their way to a pretty easy victory today over Speedway. 28-16 your score. Compliment now pitches over to Phillips there. Dribbles, takes it over to the left perimeter. Now passes to Du Bois. Now Du Bois dribbles over to the, and now he's there's a reach in there. And so Du Bois will be going to the line for a 1-and-1. He's missed the front end of his last two. Let's see if he gets over the hump this time. 49.7 seconds to go here in the first half at Clayton. So now Devin Valentine sitting down for Speedway. Peyton Hartman coming back in there as Du Bois hits his first. He has 14 now. Second one, in and out. So 14 for Du Bois. It's a 29-16 Cascade lead, 45 seconds to go. And now a long three, no good. And it goes out of bounds to Cascade with 31.5 seconds to go here. The Cadets very well could hold for the last shot here. Compliment brings it up. Guarded by Hartman. And now we got a whistle here. So now Devin Valentine stepping to the line for Cascade. They are in the double bonus. I'm sorry, excuse me. That was Bryson Phillips. Bryson Phillips stepping to the line. And the foul is going to be on Carmen Del Carabo of Speedway. So Phillips on his second free throw, up and good. He hit them both. He has 4 now. And it's a 31-16 Cascade lead, 15 seconds to go here in the first half at Clayton. So now Hartman with the ball. And now they lose control. I think they lost track of how much time was left, and a bad pass thrown out of bounds to Cascade. So, and now Western for 3. No good. And after 1.5 of play here in Clayton, your Cascade Cadets look like they're on their way to their first winning streak of the season. They lead the Speedway Sparkplugs by a score of 31-16. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors on audiosportsonline.com. The Cascade High School Athletic Department simply would not be able to operate without the financial support of our business partners. We would like to recognize and thank them for their generosity. The official health provider to the cadets, Hendricks Regional Health. Diamond Partners, Bestway Drywall and North Salem State Bank. Platinum Partners, Allen Irrigation Company, CJ's Pizza, and Dunn Insurance Agency. Gold Partner, Endeavor Communications. Silver Partner, Electric Plus. And Bronze Partner, Hankey Photography and DMH Photographics. Thank you, business partners. Your support of the student athletes of Cascade High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Clayton, we're at halftime with your Cascade Cadets on their way to their first winning streak of the season. They lead the Speedway Sparkplugs by a score of 31-16. It's a game in which Cascade went in with a pretty big size advantage. However, in the first quarter, they pulled away with a barrage of 3-point field goals. They hit 6 of them, accounting for 18 of their 20 points. Then in the second quarter, they started taking it inside more, drawing a lot of fouls, getting to the line a lot, and that strategy worked as well, as they currently have the lead by a score of 31-16 and have generally had a 2-1 scoring margin throughout the game. So I'll look at the individual scoring. Dalton Dubois, no surprise, the leading scorer with 14. However, what's a nice surprise, it shouldn't be a surprise because it's happened more often lately. We're getting more of a scoring balance with the cadets. The rest of the scoring was rounded out by Ross Stevenson with 5, Mason Tharp with 5, Bryson Phillips with 4, and Chase Western with 3. Meanwhile, for the Speedway Sparkplugs, Chris Valentine has 8, Devin Valentine has 4, Dominique Hampton has 2, and Kyle Smith has 2. Well, as you've probably noticed through this commentary, if you didn't know already, Speedway, who's Cascade's opponent tonight, is the Sparkplugs, an extremely unusual name for a sports team. And, back in my rookie season of high school sports commentary, the 2012-2013 school year, I was commentating Danville for audiosportsonline.com. They had a football game up at Frankfort, and in my research for the game, I learned that Frankfort is the hot dogs. And that led me to start exploring what some of the other odd names are. And I found out that there are a lot of dandies. And I'm going to start off right now by giving you a list of the best names of current schools in the state of Indiana. They are as follows. They are the Adams Central Flying Jets, the Anderson Highland Scots, the Attica Red Ramblers, the Clay City Eels, the Delphi Oracles. Delphi's actually up about an hour north of Indianapolis, near my dad's lake house at Lake Freeman. The Eminence Eels. Eminence, of course, is one of our opponents. We play them a week from Friday. They're out in Morgan County. The Frankfort Hot Dogs, which, of course, as I just mentioned, is the team that that inspired me to find this list. The Gary Wirt Troopers, the Hamilton Marines, the Hammond Morton Governors, the Hobart Brickies, the Indianapolis Northwest Space Pioneers, the Indianapolis Washington Continentals, the International School of Indiana Griffins, that's Gryphons, the Jimtown Jimmies, the LaPorte Slicers, the Logansport Berries. I actually found out from a friend of mine who's from Logansport that there actually is a berry farm up there. In fact, Logansport plays Frankfort every year in football in what I refer to as the Battle of the Food. Then the Madison Grant Argylls, that's Argylls, Argylls. I don't even know that I'm pronouncing that correctly. Then we've got the Martinsville Artesians. And by the way, there are actually artesian wells there in the Martinsville area. Then the Mishawaka Cavemen. I doubt there are any cavemen up there around Mishawaka. Maybe they have some caves up there like they do, down in Kentucky. I don't know. Then the New Harmony Rapites. That's Rappites. I don't know what a Rapite is either. The Northwest Du Bois Jeeps. By the way, a few months ago, I met the wife of Cascade head coach Chris Du Bois and the mother of Cascade star center Dalton Du Bois, and she told me that her family is not related to the Du Bois family from which the county got its name. So I did ask her about it. But anyway, and she said no. So then we've got the Oldenburg Academy Twisters, the Rising Sun Shiners, the River Forest Ingots, Ingots. I don't know what an ingot is either. The Rockville Rocks, rocks being spelled ROX. The Shoals Jug Rocks, rocks again being spelled ROX. The South Adams Starfires, the South Central Satellites, the Speedway Sparkplugs, who of course are in action tonight here at Cascade, the Sullivan Golden Arrows, the Tell City Marksmen, the Vincennes Lincoln Alices, which apparently got its name from the book Alice of Old Vincennes, and the Washington Hatchets. Now, those are some pretty good names, but, there are also hundreds of high schools here in Indiana that have closed, especially during the mass consolidation of the 40s through 60s. In fact, Cascade itself is a product of such consolidation, combining the Clayton, Amo, and Stylesville school systems. That's where we get the CAS in Cascade. The CADE comes from cadet, the first four letters of the word. So let's look at the names of some of the high schools that have closed here in Indiana. The Advance Osceolans, the Alkena Blue Arrows, the Arlington Purple Breezes, the Bainbridge Pointers, the Banquo Ghosts, the Bedford Stonecutters, the Blackhawk Chieftains, the Bloomingdale Academy Immortals, the Bowers Blackshirts, the Bridgeton Raccoons, the Buck Creek Cobras. I'm not surprised that there aren't more snake names in sports. The Burlington Polar Cubs. Doesn't sound very geographically appropriate for anywhere in Indiana, but I'm sure they had a cute mascot. The Burnettsville Bees, the Burns City Bees. So we actually had two bees. The Butler Windmills, the Cadiz Spaniards, the Cambridge City Wampus Cats, the Center Township Blue Streaks, the Chile Polar Bears, again not a very geographically appropriate name, the Clay Township Brickies, the Colfax Hickories. Maybe that was the inspiration for the Hickory High School in the movie Hoosiers. Since there is no Hickory, there's no town of Hickory or a high school called Hickory in the state. The Concannon Cannons, try saying that one 5 times fast. The Converse Bordermen. I guess Converse is on the border of Indiana, I'm not sure. The Corey Apple Boys. In fact, they actually still make Corey Apple Boys t-shirts, I found out online. I'm thinking about ordering one. The Cynthiana Annas. That's Cynthiana and then Annas being the last name. Not a very tough sounding name, but anyway. The Deacon Demons. That's Deacon High School, and they're called the Demons. Of course, Wake Forest University is the Demon Deacons. The Deer Creek Crickets. The DePaw Blue River Echoes. The Dunkirk Speed Cats. The I wonder if they ever played Speedway. You'd have Speedway playing the Speed Cats. The Edwardsport Powers, the Epsom Salts, the Farmersburg Plowboys, the Fontenay Beantowners. I have no idea what a Beantowner is. Some of these I'm really going to have to look up. The Fort Branch Twigs. That's a nice pun there. Freelandville Fighting Dutchmen, the Gary Emerson Tornadoes, the Goldsmith Goldbugs, the Griffin Tornadoes, the Hannah Fishermen, the Hartford City Airedales, the Hartford Township Gorillas, the Hobstadt Elites. Boy, I bet they got a lot of teasing when they were having an off-season, calling themselves the Elites. The Hayden Haymakers, the Holland Dutchmen, the Holton Warhouses, the Honey Creek Honeybees, the Huntingburg Happy Hunters, the Hymera Shackamacks, the Idaville Green Streaks, the Indywood Woodchucks. Now, my dad's next-door neighbor, John Sloan, I found out after I compiled this list, actually not only attended Indywood, but he actually played for the Woodchucks. So I think he was pleasantly surprised that I knew the name of the team. But anyway, the Ireland Spuds, the Jackson Township Stonewalls, the Jamestown Little Giants, kind of an oxymoron there, Little Giants, the Jefferson Township Yeomen, the Kennard Leopard Cats, the Kirkland Kangaroos, again, not a very geographically appropriate name. I wouldn't think there would be a Kangaroos team outside of Australia. The Kirkland Travelers, the Ladoga Canners, and by the way, that name I looked up online, they got their name because they had a canning manufacturing company there in town. And the elementary school there is still called the Canners, and they still make Ladoga Canners t-shirts, and I plan to get one as well, just like the Corey Apple Boys. Then we got the LaFontaine Cossacks, the Leavenworth Rivermen, the Leavenworth Wyandottes, and by the way, there's Wyandotte Cave is in or near the community of Leavenworth there. Leavenworth. The Wyandotte Cave is in or near the community of Leavenworth there in south central Indiana. I used to live down there nearby in New Albany, Indiana. Then the Lincoln Rail Splitters, the Lincolnville Goldbugs, the Linville Lindies, the Madison Township Tomcats, the Marengo Cavemen. There's actually a Marengo Cave in south central Indiana as well. The Masonic Home Craftsmen, the McKinley Presidents, the Mecca Arabs, the Malott Derbies, the Michigan Town Ganders, the Middlebury Middles. That's not a very inspiring name. Middles. The Middletown Cossacks, the Midland Middies, the Mill Creek Creekers. Of course, now, ironically, Cascade is part of the Mill Creek school system, but the Mill Creek Creekers are what's now part of the LaPorte school system. And LaPorte themselves have a very cool name, as I mentioned above, in the Slicers. Then we've got the Milton Sharpshooters. Again, I'm sure they got a lot of teasing when they were having an off-night shooting. The Monon Railroaders, the Monroe City Blue Jeans. I need to look up and see if they actually wore blue jeans during their games. The Moscow River Rats, the Mount Ayr Airedales, the Mulberry Berries. I wonder if they ever played Logansport, who's currently the Berries. It'd be interesting to have two Berries teams playing against each other. The Newberry River Rats. I'm not surprised there aren't more rodent team names out there. The New Amsterdam Rivermen. The New Market Purple Flyers. The Oakland City Acorns. The Onward Redcoats. Not sure if they ever got any accusations of being unpatriotic. The Patoka Wrens. The Perry Central Midgets. Undoubtedly, they would get in hot water with the PC crowd if they existed today. The Pimento Peppers, that's a nice pun there. The Pine Village Pine Knots, the Pinnell Purple Dragons, the Plainville Midgets. So we actually had two midgets teams. The Pleasantville Blue Streaks, the Poseyville Posies. I wonder if they ever played against the Cloverdale Clovers. The Raleigh Sir Walters, the Remington Rifles, and talk about a team that would get in hot water with the PC crowd today. That's the Remington Rifles there. And back to second half action there. I will try to finish the list later during the dead balls, the rest of the game. And we got a whistle there very quickly. And I'm glad they were doing, I think it was like the homecoming, the homecoming, they were announcing the homecoming winners or whatever, so they had an extended halftime, which allowed me to get in more of the names there. So now there's a steal by Hampton. Speedway has the ball. Now we got a whistle here. It's going to be a foul on Stevenson. That's his first, team first. 7:49 to go here in the third quarter at Clayton. Cascade looks like they're going to have a fairly easy win today. They lead 31-16 over Speedway. And now a drive to the basket, and he's fouled. So I believe that's Hampton who will be going to the line. So Speedway gets 2 fouls against Cascade here in the first 21 seconds of the half. Hampton going to the line now for 2. That was the first foul, thankfully only the first on Du Bois. Hampton hits the first one. He hit them both. So it's a 31-18 Cascade lead. Cascade still with a tight grip on this one. It's still theirs to lose. Du Bois now over to Phillips. Fakes a 3, now gives over to Compliment. Now back to Phillips there near the midcourt line. Over to Du Bois at the top of the key. Now pitches over there to Western. Now over to Phillips. Now over to Compliment. Long 3. No good off the front of the rim. Hampton the rebound. He gives it up there to Dal Carobo. Now over to Hampton there at the top of the key. Back to Chris Valentine, the team's leading scorer with 8. 6:58 to go here in the third quarter here at Clayton. And now a 3-pointer there from the corner. No good. However, Speedway controls the rebound now. And Del Carobo was wide open for a 3. Now a jumper from the free throw line in and out. It looked like that was going down, but it bounced out. So now on the other end, Du Bois with the ball. 3-pointer from the corner. He hit it. He hit it. Du Bois with the game-high 17, and 12 of them coming on 3-point field goals. And Cascade goes up by a game-high margin of 16. And now a fake there on the 3 over by Delvin Valentine. He pitches over to for a 3-pointer. That's no good there by Kyle Smith. So Cascade with a chance to, and now Du Bois tries to bake it in. No good. Hampton the rebound. Gives it up to Chris Valentine. Now over to, and now we've got a, what's the foul? Got a foul against, no, I think it was a travel against Speedway. So Compliment with the ball now for the Cadets. Gives it up to Western, fakes the 3. Now drives inside the lane, puts it up underhanded, no good. And Speedway controls the rebound there. And now Hampton drives into the lane, turns around, puts it up off the glass left-handed. No good after a couple of bounces. Du Bois the rebound. And we got a foul. I think they got Hampton for that one, which is going to be his 4th, and we'll see if they keep him in or not. It's saying I thought Hampton had 3 in the first half. They're only listing that as his 3rd. So maybe Speedway better hope it's only his 3rd anyway, because he's one guy they cannot afford to lose. So now Western finds a wide open. Du Bois feeds a wide open Western, and he drives in for the easy layup. So Western with 5 now. 36-18. And now turn around there. And now if who was that? So Kyle Smith was found wide open under the basket. He laid it in easily. He has 4 points for the Sparkplugs now, and it's a 36-20 Cascade lead here with 4:43 to go here in the third quarter at Clayton now. Three-pointer by Compliment, no good. However, the rebound tipped over to Phillips, pitches back out to Compliment, drives in. Now he tries to feed Du Bois, but there's miscommunication between the two, and it goes out of bounds to Speedway with 4:30 to go. So now Dal Carabo bringing it up for Speedway, giving it up to Devin Valentine. Now over to Hampton, back to Devin Valentine. Good ball movement now inside to Hampton. He feeds Kyle Smith, who puts it up and in, and he's fouled. So Kyle Smith held to only 2 points there in the first half. Now he's come alive with 4 quick points, a chance to make it five. The foul is on Du Bois. That's only his second, however. So now Tharp and Birch coming in. Du Bois and Compliment sitting down for the Cadets with 4:11 to go here in the third quarter at Clayton. And now Hartman coming in, and Devin Valentine sitting down for the Sparkplugs. Now Smith no good on the free throw, and I believe it was Stevenson who pulled in the rebound. So now Stevenson up to Tharp. They got to get it past midcourt. Wow, that was a close one. And now Birch, Hartman was trying so hard for the steal on Birch, actually tripped over Birch's leg there. And now Western has the ball, pitches over to Birch, and now as Birch drives to the baseline, jumper no good, and now Speedway controls the rebound. What I think that Coach Du Bois is going to do here is see how they do the rest of the half as the ball's tipped out of bounds to Speedway. I think he's going to see how his guys do the rest of the half, the rest of the quarter, and see if they still have a comfortable margin. And then if Speedway makes a run, he'll probably put all the starters back in. But right now he's seeing how well they can do, with a lot of the reserves in. And still a 14-point lead for the Sparkplugs. And now, however, now another. Now Smith now 6 points, in this quarter. Yeah, they found a guy under the basket. He laid it up. It was no good, but Smith put it in and drew the foul as well. So nice awareness there by Kyle Smith. He is a 6'2 junior. He's playing really well here in the third quarter. He hits it, so Smith has 9 points to lead the Sparkplugs, 7 of them coming here in the third quarter. And yes, now with the lead being cut to 11, not surprisingly, Du Bois, well, let's see, Birch, Western, and Stevenson all sitting down. Du Bois and 2 other players coming back in. So now in the game we've got a foul. That was a very aggressive steal attempt there as Phillips had the ball. Phillips, a 5'9 junior who's going to be called on to do a lot of big things next year as a senior. There's no one guy, I think, who's going to be able to completely fill in for Du Bois, so they're going to have several guys combined to do it. But what I started to say earlier, I think one thing that makes Du Bois such a marketable player, probably not for Division I, but maybe Division II or III, is that he's a very tough player. He can do a lot of big things inside. But at the same time, he's got such a great touch on his three-pointer as well. So he's a very versatile player. And now Speedway actually had a chance on a steal there to cut it to single digits here. But I believe it was Kyle Smith who traveled there. And now, with Cascade taking a full timeout with 2:53 to go here in the third quarter, let me finish up that list with the Cadets on top of the Sparkplugs, 36-25. So anyway, let's see. I left off with the Remington Rifles. These are the best team names of high schools in Indiana that have closed. The Ridgeville Cossacks, the Riley Cossacks, the Roanoke Stonewalls, the Roll Red Rollers. I guess Roll is the high school, and they were the Red Rollers. The Rosedale Hotshots, the Russellville Bees, the Russiaville Cossacks. I wonder if there was some important guy in Indiana history named Cossack, because there are at least 3 teams here named Cossacks. I don't get it. I just, when I think about Cossack, I think about Roger Cossack, who commentated the O.J. Simpson trial along with Greta Van Susteren back, in 1995, I think on CNN. But anyway, then I will continue the list at the next dead ball. So anyway, inside to Du Bois. Sorry, I got excited there. I forgot that Cascade moved to the other end of the... Cascade's working the other basket in this half. And now they struggle to get it past midcourt again, so it's a good defensive effort by Speedway. And now we got a foul there. I think Hurst looked like he was trying to make a fancy show-offy type layup. It was no good. However, Tharp put up the rebound, and Tharp got the rebound, put it up, and drew the foul. So Tharp puts it up. No good off the front of the rim. So now Hampton sitting down for Speedway, replaced by Sam Jackson. He is a 6'1 senior for the Sparkplugs. Second free throw by Tharp is good. And now, no good at the other end. Tharp and now a steal though, and it looks like it's, Kyle Smith missed an easy layup. Wow. No, I'm sorry, that was Chris Valentine, excuse me. Nevertheless, that would have cut it to 10. So Speedway's blown a couple of, and now we've got a official timeout for a foreign object on the floor. I cannot tell what it is. It looked very small. But yeah, Speedway's missed 2 extremely easy scoring opportunities here in the last couple of minutes. So now inside to Du Bois, puts it up. No good. He gets his own rebound, puts it up, and he's fouled. So Dalton Du Bois will try to pad on to his game-high 17 points here with 2:03 to go here in the third quarter at Clayton. First one's good. So now Western coming in for Phillips. He hit them both. 19 for Du Bois now. 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. And now another missed shot by the Sparkplugs. Cascade with the ball, leading by 14. This is theirs to lose. So 3 by Du Bois, no good. Well, rebound by Kyle Smith. He got hit pretty hard on the rebound, but there was no call. 39-25, Cascade over Speedway. .135 to go here in the third quarter. 8:40, your time of day. Now a three-pointer there is good. That was Hartman. But those are his first points. And cuts the lead to 11 once again, so Speedway still with an outside shot here. And now Tharp, however, drives it all the way in, relatively uncontested. And he has 8 points now, so Tharp, a 6-foot sophomore, especially if he grows a few more inches, he can really contribute a lot over the next couple of years. And now he tries to hit Hampton under the basket, but Hampton apparently wasn't ready for it. No, I'm sorry, Jackson, excuse me. He wasn't ready for it, and by the time he tried to get his awareness, it just bounced off his hands. He wasn't able to get the grip. So it goes out of bounds to Cascade with 58.5 seconds to go here in the third quarter. And now knocked out of bounds to a steal attempt knocked out of bounds to Cascade. So Cascade go across to Complement. Now over to Western, fakes a three. Now hands it over to Complement. Now Complement drives, pitches it over to Hirsch. Now back to Complement. 37 seconds to go. Now Complement, and you got a nice steal attempt, but it's knocked out of bounds to Cascade with 33.8 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Cascade leading 41-28. The Cadets, with a win, will have their first winning streak of the season, and with a very good chance to make it a 4-game winning streak. Their next 2 games are against both 1A teams, Bethesda Christian on Thursday, and then Eminence a week from Friday. Both very, very winnable games. And now, nice Tharp, faked a shot, then got his defenders off balance, then put in a kind of odd-looking hook shot, but it worked, and he's got 10 points now, so it's always nice to see a Cascade player other than Du Bois get in double figures. So now 4 seconds to go. Speedway trying to get a shot off, and let's see it. Hampton, did he get it in? They ruled no. So Cascade goes into the fourth quarter here at Clayton with a 15-point lead. They're on top of Speedway 43-28. We'll be back with the conclusion of this game after these words from our sponsors on audiosportsonline.com. The Cascade High School Athletic Department simply would not be able to operate without the financial support of our business partners. We would like to recognize and thank them for their generosity. The official health provider to the Cadets, Hendricks Regional Health; Diamond Partners, Bestway Drywall, the North Salem State Bank; Platinum Partners, Allen Irrigation Company, CJ's Pizza, and Dunn Insurance Agency; Gold Partner, Endeavor Communications; Silver Partner, Electric Plus; and Bronze Partner, Hankey Photography and DMH Photographics. Thank you, business partners. Your support of the student athletes of Cascade High School is greatly appreciated. Okay, my mom just texted. Okay, well, hold on. Well, back here at Clayton, we're about to start the fourth quarter of this basketball game between your Cascade Cadets and the Speedway Sparkplugs. Cascade leading 43-28. Looks like they will get their first winning streak of the season after all. My mom just texted me because I had been so curious about all the former Indiana teams that were named Cossack. They're Cossacks, excuse me. My mom said Cossacks were saber-waving warriors. So, thank you, Mom. I did not know that. So, it's just learned something new. Now, I still have a bunch of other names I got to look up, but at least that's one less, thanks to Mom. So now, Kyle Smith lays it in for the, he's the only double-figure scorer now for Speedway. Cuts the lead to 13, 7:31 to go here. And now another steal by the Sparkplugs, so they're keeping Cascade from totally pulling away. And now Cascade's playing some tough defense of their own, and now I believe it was Smith who drew the foul again. Smith has played very aggressively here in the second half, and gone a long way toward. I'm sorry, that was Chris Valentine there though. Smith has scored 9 points here in the second half, but it's Chris Valentine there who got the foul on Benson Walker fifth Cascade foul of the half. That's Walker's first. And now after a few bounces, it falls. Chris Valentine with 9 points for the Sparkplugs. And he hit them both. So we have 2 double-figure scores for Speedway now, as well as 2 for Cascade. An 11-point lead, and we got a foul there. Against Speedway. That's going to be against Dal Carabo, his third, team 6th. So one more, and Cascade will be in the bonus. 11-point Cascade lead. And now drive to Benson Walker, and he's fouled hard by Smith while driving to the basket. So Benson Walker will be going to the free throw line for 2. By the way, speaking of my mom, I send my mom and stepdad, Janice and Jim Mitchell, a very happy wish for their 34th wedding anniversary. You know, these days when you make it 34 years, that's more than a third of a century. That's a heck of a long time. So best wishes and congratulations to both of them. And Walker misses the first one. Missed the first, hit the second. Walker with his first point of the game there. And now inside to no good. I believe that was Smith there on the layup. Walker got the rebound. So Cascade with the ball, leading by 12, under 7 minutes to go in the game now. So now Tharp over to Western, no good. Air ball on a three-pointer. Dal Carabo the rebound. And now inside, and now we've got a foul there. I think they're going to get Walker for it, as Smith was driving to the basket. 6:33 to go. That's going to be Walker's second, team 6th, so one more, and Speedway will be in the bonus. Oh, my mom just thanked me for the anniversary wish, so you're welcome, Mom, of course. So both of my parents have texted me during this game about, about something about the broadcast, so I'm glad they're both listening. Hopefully got, at least a few hundred more Speedway fans listening as well, or Cascade fans. If any Speedway fans want to listen as well, that's great too, but I expect that the bulk of the audience are Cascade fans there. No good on a jump shot there, and Du Bois pulls down the rebound. That was Chris Valentine, by the way. Under 6 minutes to go now. Cascade with the ball in a 12-point lead. Looks like they got this one. So Stevenson over to Western. Back to Stevenson, and we got a foul there. And let's see what the foul is here. It's going to be on that's going to be on Smith. And now Hampton coming in as Smith sits down. No, I'm sorry, it's Dal Carabo sitting down, excuse me. So now inside to Du Bois. He posts up, puts it off the glass, and he draws the foul with 5:44 to go here in the game. So now that's going to be a foul on Smith there. And he has fouled out. Well, Kyle Smith doing a great job trying to keep Speedway in relative striking distance here in the second half, but his aggressiveness ends up disqualifying him from the game with 5:44 to go, and his team still trailing by 12. He does have a team high. He does foul out with a team high 11. So Du Bois now with 19, which is his average. No good on the first one off the front of the rim. now a couple of the officials were discussing something, and now one of the officials is going over to the scorer's bench. I'm not sure what the issue is. But yeah, it's great to get, a win, especially when you have a crowd like this. So Du Bois hits 1 of 2. He has 20 now, a game high. So now Dalcarabo with the ball at the right perimeter. Now a fake on the 3 there by, I believe that was Hartman. Now pitches inside to Hampton, and I believe he was fouled on a reach-in, so Hampton will be going to the free throw line for a 1-and-1. It's a 13-point Cascade lead with 5:25 to go here in the fourth quarter at Clayton. 8:52 your time of day. Speedway has been one of the better Class 2A teams here in the state here in this decade, as Hampton misses the shot, but Speedway controls the rebound. Speedway's, been one of the better Class 2A programs in this century, but it's just this is an off year. The Cadets only won at 11. Justin Hurst now lays in his first points of the game, and Speedway goes up by 15. Now Hampton drains a jumper there, cutting the lead to 13 with 4:57 to go, and we got a timeout here, I believe, by Speedway. Yeah, by Speedway. So let me go over some of these other names here. Again, for those of you who missed the earlier part of the list, these are the best names, the best team names of high schools in Indiana that no longer exist. We've got the St. Paul Blasters, the Circleville Ringers, the Scotland Scotties, the Shadeland Peppers, the Shawswick Farmers. Now Damon Bailey played for Shawswick in middle school, and they were still the Farmers. They feed now into the Bedford North Lawrence system. The Smithville Ski-Bows, the South Bend Wilson Presidents, the South Bend Washington, now they're part of the South Bend Washington system, the Spartanburg Tomcats, the Spencer Cops, that's now part of the Owen Valley system. Spencer is now part of the Owen Valley system. In fact, Owen Valley is located in the town of Spencer. The Spiceland Stingers, the Steinsville Quarry Lads. The Beatles' original name, or one of their, I don't know if it was their original name, but one of their names before they were the Beatles, they were the Quarrymen. So now back to action here, and now we got a whistle here. Let's see what the call is. Oh, I think they got him for a 5-second call. Okay. So the pressure pays off for the Sparkplugs. They still trail by 13, nearly 5 minutes to go. Now inside to Hampton. Very aggressively puts it up. No good. Rebound Du Bois. And this game is firmly in Speedway's control. They would have to really collapse at this point not to win it. So now inside to Du Bois. Posts up on Hampton, puts it off the glass. He hit it! About 5 bounces, but it still goes. So Du Bois with a game-high 22. He has nearly half of Cascade's points. They lead by 15 now with 4:18 to go here in the fourth quarter. And now at the other end we got a reach-in foul against Cascade. Let's see. I think it's going to be against, it's on Phillips. Actually, I thought it was Hurst, but it's on Phillips. So Chris Valentine going to the line. He has 10 points for the Sparkplugs, second on the team behind Kyle Smith's 11. First one, no good. However, Speedway controls the rebound. A wide open 3, in and out. Rebound by Hurst. And Du Bois will bring it up for the Cadets with 4:05 to go in the game. So now Du Bois, jumper just inside the free throw lane, no good. Rebound there by Dalcarabo, and he brings it down himself for Speedway. Pitches over to Chris Valentine, over to Dalcarabo for 3. He hits it. And that cuts the lead to 12, under 4 minutes to go, however. And now a wide open three-pointer there. No good by Hurst. And Chris Valentine comes up with the rebound, brings it down himself, puts it up off the glass, in and out. Hampton tries to get the rebound. It's knocked out of bounds to Speedway with 3:27 to go in the game. Cascade leading by 12, and Cascade takes a timeout. So I'll try to get in the rest of these team names here. Okay, we've got the Summitville Goblins, the Swayze Speed Kings, the Terre Haute Garfield Purple Eagles, the Terre Haute Gerstmeyer Black Cats, the Terre Haute Normal Young Sycamores, the Terre Haute Wiley Red Streaks, the Tippecanoe Police Dogs, the Trinity Springs Little Sulphurs, the 12 Mile Milers, the Union Township Sharpshooters, the University Univies, the Upland Yeomen, the Urbana Speed Kings, the Wallace Peppers, the Wanataha Midgets, the Warren Lightning 5, the Washington Township Hatchets, the West Baden Sprudels, the West Lebanon Pikers, the Wheatland Jeeps, the Whiteland Township Elkhorns, and finally, the Winslow Eskimos. Again, not a very geographically appropriate name. So, and, you know, a few matchups of the past or present Indiana teams that I would have loved to have seen. There are several. We could have the, well, hold that thought until, yeah, since we're almost back to action here, we'll wait for another dead ball for that one. So Speedway trying to get it in bounds. They do. So Dalcarabo now pitches over. Now back to Dalcarabo. He had a three just a few moments ago. Now over to that's Hartman, I believe. No good. However, Hampton the rebound. He puts it up and in. However, I think they got him for a foul. 3:09 to go. I believe that's his fourth. No, that's his fifth, excuse me. So Hampton sits down. He had a tough, aggressive game. He scored 6 points. He's the team's leading rebounder on the season. Sam Jackson coming back in to replace the fouled-out Hampton. So Cascade with the ball and a 12-point lead. Just over 3 minutes to play here in the game. However, a bad pass goes out of bounds to Speedway. 2:59 to go. So anyway, one matchup that would have been great. We could have had the McKinley Presidents against the Hammond Morton Governors. And we'll have some more during the later dead balls. Now Chris Valentine takes it into the lane, pitches back out. Three-pointer from the left perimeter, no good. And this time we got we have Tharp with the rebound, and he got hit hard on the rebound attempt. That's Dalcarabo, and he's fouled out. So now three Sparkplugs have fouled out. Dalcarabo, Hampton, and Kyle Smith. Now in and out on for Tharp on the first one. Second one is good. Tharp with 11, second on the team. In fact, second highest that ties for the second highest in the game by either team. Now three-pointer, no good. Jackson the rebound, and they got him. I think they got an over-the-back foul, so Jackson will be going to the line for a 1-and-1 there. And that's Tharp's fourth foul. So Sam Jackson going to the line for Speedway. He hit his first one. And his second is also good. Cutting the lead to 11, but only 2:34 to go. Cascade looks like they're going to hang on for the win. And now Du Bois, they leave him open, and he takes advantage. Du Bois with a game-high 24, pushing the lead back up to 13. Cascade looks like they're going to get the win here. And now a steal, or near steal there, and I think they got, who was that? They got Tharp on the reach-in, and Tharp will be his fifth. I'm sure he'll get a nice ovation as he sits down, however. No, it's against Speedway, and Tharp will be going to the free throw line, so the foul's going to be on Chris Valentine. That's his third. He hit it. So Tharp with 12 now. That brings him in sole possession of second place here for points in the game. And Cascade goes up by 14. So Tharp again hits one of two. He has 12 on the game. Now inside to Jackson, pitches out to Dalcarabo, over to Hartman. Now over to Jackson, cross court to Dalcarabo for three. He hits it. And a quick timeout by Speedway with 1:56 to go. They cut it to 11. But as long as Cascade hits their free throws the rest of the way, they should win easily. And even if they don't, Speedway would need a barrage of three-pointers to get back in it at this point. So Cascade apparently headed for victory here. 9:03 your time of day. So this large crowd will apparently go home happy. At the same time, Speedway, if you're a Speedway fan, you've got to like a lot of the things they did today. They were overmatched, and they still hung in there and stayed within relative striking distance and really did a good job clawing their way back when it looked a few times like Cascade was going to end up running away with it. So they have competed well. They just haven't had the personnel. So now Du Bois with the ball and for Cascade. He has 24. I thought he would have a very big game, and he has. And now a near steal there by Speedway. But Tharp maintains control, gives it over now to Phillips. Stevenson now. Wow, a very aggressive steal attempt. And either Dalcarabo or Chris Valentine fouled Tharp pretty hard. So Tharp in and out. He has struggled a little bit on his shooting tonight. So that's something for him to work on in practice, but overall Tharp has had a very good game, showing a lot of promise. And only a sophomore. Hopefully he'll grow a few more inches, and he misses them both. So Speedway now it's still with a chance to make a game out of it. Now inside to Jackson. Now he pitches back out. Now nearly had a backcourt violation there, but Chris Valentine feeds Jackson, and it goes out of bounds to Cascade with 1:09 to go, and that should just about do it here. So Stevenson coming in for Western now with 1:09 to go here in the game, and Stevenson will inbound the ball. Speedway still making a great defensive effort, but We'll see if they foul, and they finally do there. So Compliment will be going to the line. And that was Dal Carabo there on the foul, and that's his fifth. So Speedway's lost 4 players to fouls now. So Compliment has not scored yet. So Dylan Compliment is good. He swished it. So he becomes the 9th cadet to score in this game. And they go up by 12 with 51.2 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter. Cascade will improve to 7 and 10. Second one, no good. Cascade will win consecutive games for the first time all season. Now three-pointer from the corner, no good. Cascade controls the rebound, and that should do it. We'll see if. And now we've got. I wasn't sure if Speedway could try to foul again, but they did. So now we'll have Tharp going back to the line once again, of a familiar sight here in the fourth quarter. He's good. By the way, the foul is on Peyton Hartman, his third. And by the way, both teams are in the double bonus, I forgot to say. So Tharp finally hits them both. He has 14. Boy, that'd be great if he grew a few more inches. 6 feet now as a sophomore, and 14 points tonight. And now Western commits a foul. There are 27.6 seconds to go. And by the way, this is first free throw by Hartman is good. He has 4 now. But by the way, prior to tonight, the season high for Tharp was 6. So he's more than doubled that. So Tharp's had some nice moments off the bench lately, but this really has been a breakout game for him. So certainly we're going to be looking for big things from him next year. And maybe even this year, to help fill the offensive void. Since Du Bois has been our only consistent double-figure scorer all season. And now a travel there against Cascade, so Speedway will have one more shot on offense with 10.7 seconds to go. And now Speedway with one chance, 4 seconds to go. Drive in, and he lays it in at the buzzer. That was Devin Valentine. So that's the game. Cascade has a barrage of three-pointers earlier, and then goes in cruise control, holds steady the rest of the way, and they get their first winning streak of the season. They beat Speedway 56-45 here on AudioSportsOnline.com. We'll be back with a recap and a look ahead to not only our next game, but also the girls sectional after these words from our sponsors. The Cascade High School Athletic Department simply would not be able to operate without the financial support of our business partners. We would like to recognize and thank them for their generosity. The official health provider to the cadets, Hendricks Regional Health, Diamond Partners, Bestway Drywall, and North Salem State Bank, Platinum Partners, Allen Irrigation Company, CJ's Pizza, and Dunn Insurance Agency, Gold Partner, Endeavor Communications, Silver Partner, Electric Plus, and Bronze Partner, Hankey Photography, and DMH Photographics. Thank you, business partners. Your support for the student-athletes of Cascade High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Clayton for a final time tonight, where your Cascade Cadets have finally, in Game 17 of the season, gotten their first winning streak. They beat the Speedway Sparkplugs by a score of 56-45 here on AudioSportsOnline.com. It's a game in which Cascade started off red-hot shooting for a change. They hit 6 3-pointers in the first quarter. Then the rest of the game, they primarily relied on inside scoring, having a big size advantage. They drew a lot of fouls. 4 Speedway players fouled out, and Cascade, Speedway did make a couple of runs to keep Cascade from totally running away with it. Cascade did maintain a double-digit margin throughout the entire second half and did end up getting the win by the score, like I said, of 56-45. A look at the individual scoring. First of all, for Cascade, Dalton DuBois led the way with 24 points. No surprise there, especially with Speedway being an undersized team with only 2 players above 6'1". But the nice surprise, and maybe we shouldn't be surprised because this young man has had some good moments off the bench lately, but Mason Tharp, a breakout game tonight, 14 points for the sophomore. Certainly, he's making me feel a heck of a lot better about next season because I was really thinking next season might be a long one without DuBois, but now it looks like, we've got some guys who are going to be able to come in and fill at least a lot of the scoring gap. And then, that young man, Tharp being back for 2 more years, certainly he's got plenty of time to improve. So once again, DuBois 24, Tharp 14, and then we had a lot of other moderate contributions. Russ Stevenson had 5. Russ Stevenson had 5. Bryson Phillips had 4. Justin Hurst had 2. Chase Western had 5. Dylan Compliment had 1. And Benson Walker had 1. So in all, 8 cadets scored tonight. So it's great to see they're getting more balance and, doing it at the right time of the season. So then, meanwhile, for the Speedway Sparkplugs, we've got Kyle Smith led the way with 11, followed by Chris Valentine with 10. Devin Valentine with 6. Camden Dalcarabo with 6. Dominique Hampton with 6. Peyton Hartman with 4. And Sam Jackson with 2. So, basically, this was a game in which Cascade, they were expected to win. Of course, they did win. It was really a very solid performance. It was not an outstanding performance, but a very good performance. Where basically they came in with a good game plan. They knew what they had to do to win, and they executed it without any major mistakes. Speedway came in doing about as much as they could have. They played a very aggressive defense. They worked really hard. They worked the boards very hard. They did get a couple of offensive rebounds that helped them stay in it. They also missed several very easy short-range shots that would have enabled them to at least make it close here in the fourth quarter. But nevertheless, every time that Cascade looked like they were going to, up the margin to 20 or so, Speedway always came down and got a score or made a defensive stop to hang in there and at least be in position to get back into the game. So hats off to the Sparkplugs. It's been a tough season there. They've had a lot of great seasons here in this century. The state championship in Class 2A back in 2002, then the 3 consecutive sectionals from 2012 to 2014, the regional in 2013. They will be back. They should be much better next year. You look at the girls. Last year the girls only won 5 games all season. This year they're up, I believe, to 9 now. And I think Cascade, especially with Charles Bennett, having done a lot of great things there. If you just be patient with him, I think he'll have the program back on track in a couple of years. But nevertheless, it's nice for Cascade to not only get the win tonight, but get the monkey off their back. And again, like I thought with the nice win over South Putnam a week ago, Tuesday night here at Clayton, I thought then that they were really getting back into the swing of things. and really establishing themselves, starting to get on track in time for the playoffs. Now, I don't know what our chances are to win the sectional. I think, it looks like a foregone conclusion that Cloverdale, with the leading scorer in the state, Jalen Moore, is going to do it. But you never know. I remember, when I was commentating Hamilton Southeastern a few years ago, in the 2012-13 season, they had Zach Irvin, and, he went on to play 4 years at Michigan, then, is now playing pro basketball in Israel, and they lost their first sectional game in overtime. So certainly, if Cascade continues to get a lot of big contributions and get a lot of balanced contributions like they got tonight, especially with Tharp having a breakthrough game, certainly it is and not beyond the realm of possibility that that the Cadets could, win a few tournament games this year. And certainly, even if they don't, the fact that they are playing better late in the season, it does give us some momentum to carry into next season when, we're going to have a very big hole to fill with the graduation of Dalton DuBois, one of the best players in school history. And like I said, with the way that, especially what Tharp did tonight, and also even though Benson Walker didn't do much tonight, he's had some good moments lately, and as has Bryson Phillips, who earned the start tonight. And I think probably we're going to see Mason Tharp getting a lot of starts the rest of the season as well. Now, Cascade returns to action on Thursday night at Bethesda Christian, which is just over in Brownsburg, so that's a great opportunity for all you fans to get out to a road game just a few miles away. And it should be a pretty easy win. Bethesda Christian, though they've quietly built a very good 1A program there in Brownsburg, they are rebuilding the season. They currently are only 6-9, so it should be a Cadets win. And that then after counties. But right now, I would like to talk about the girls, because they begin tournament action on Tuesday night right here at Clayton, here in the Cascade sectional. They on Tuesday night they will play the North Putnam Lady Cougars. It should be a win for us. North Putnam has had a very bad. I hate to say it. I don't want other teams to be bad. Of course, I just want us to be good. But nevertheless, North Putnam. It was a very favorable draw for us because North Putnam is a team that doesn't look like they're much threat to us. They last season. They went 1-22. This year they have improved moderately, but it's not. But they are 8-14, and they're on a 2-game winning streak. However, their wins generally have been against 1A teams or low level, higher level, low or very bad 2A and 3A teams. So, as long as we bring our A game, that one should not be a problem. But nevertheless, I hope all of you will get out of here and support. Will get out of here and support. I shouldn't say get out of here. I hope all of you will get out here to Clayton and support the Lady Cadets in the sectional starting Tuesday night. They play the early game, so a 6 o'clock tip-off. So I hope you all will get out here early. Fill this gym, make a lot of noise, and the Lady Cadets got off to a rough start, having lost Bailey Walker and Michaela Collier to graduation, both of whom are now playing college ball at Franklin and Goshen, respectively. Lost their first 6 games, then got a little better had 3 wins against, low-level teams. And then finally in Game 12 got a huge win over South Putnam, the team that eliminated us from the tournament last year. Then we won 5 out of 6 from there. Even a record at 9-9, with the last of those wins being a double overtime thriller at Cloverdale, in which we came back to win after trailing by 18. And then after that, we went on a 3-game losing streak, largely from fatigue, because we had to play 3 games in a row because of the Cloverdale game being rescheduled from a couple of snow outs. So we had tough losses. We had 3 tough losses in a row, all by single digits, however, 2 of them to 4A teams. We lost to South Putnam in the Wick crossover game, then to Plainfield and Avon. However, despite the fatigue and playing against, a couple of 4A teams, we were able to, stay close and have a chance to pull all of those games out in the final minutes. Then we got a nice win over Speedway on Thursday to close out the regular season, 55-36. So the Lady Cadets have been, other than the fatigue-plagued games against South Putnam and Plainfield, they've been playing, a lot of their best basketball of the season lately. Olivia Bryan and Hannah Rasnake have, scored very well for us for most of the season. Carly Gibbs and Taylor Norris, a couple of sophomores, have done some good things off the bench, and Norris recently moved into the starting lineup. Amelia Bryan and Trinity Hostetler have rebounded very well, and the girls really, despite being up against some enormous odds, especially having to play 3 games in a row, having to play 3 games in less than 48 hours, they've responded with a lot of effort, a lot of heart and character, and and again, they're much better than their record indicates. They have not loaded on cupcakes. They've only played, I believe, they've only played 5 teams in their class all season. The others have been 3A and 4A teams. So once again, they play South Putnam on Tuesday at 6. South Putnam is 8-14. They're really 7-15. They were retroactively awarded a 30-point loss to Monrovia by forfeit, but they're 8-14, but again, without a lot of high quality victories. They only averaged 30 points on the season. They don't have a double figure scorer, and so we should win that one. Then later on in the sectional, in the second game of the sectional that night, Western Boone will play against, let me pull up the bracket here. Okay, Western Boone, who's 10-12, will play Cloverdale, who's 17-5, but has played a much weaker schedule than we have. And again, we did beat them in the regular season in that double overtime thriller. So Tuesday night, we play North Putnam at 6, followed by Cloverdale and Western Boone at 7:30. Then on Friday, we play Monrovia. They're a decent team, but nothing great. 9-13 in the regular season. We beat them by 16, so as long as we play our A or at least our B game, we should win that one. Meanwhile, South Putnam 17-5, who we split our 2 games against during the regular season, will play the winner of the Western Boone Cloverdale game. Western Boone only 10-12, but they've played mostly 3A teams. They were actually in Class 3A last year themselves before getting moved down. So anyway, South Putnam will and by the way, we will play the 6 o'clock game on Friday too. So be sure to be here early on both Tuesday and Friday, and then and then of course the South Putnam against the Western Boone Cloverdale winner. That game will be on Friday at 7:30, and then on Saturday night, hopefully Cascade, or at least one of those 3 top bracket teams, but hopefully Cascade will be playing for the sectional championship. And anyway, I'm really pleased with the draw because the three teams that I think would have a fair chance to beat us in the sectional are all on the other side of the bracket. North Putnam would have, probably not more than a 1 in 20 chance of beating us, if that. Monrovia is a much better team than North Putnam, but not a particularly good team, really. Probably on the low side of mediocre. I mean, I think if we played 20 games against Monrovia, we'd probably win 16 or 17 of them. But the three teams that I think are really going to be tough for us are all on the other side of the bracket. So at most, we're only going to have to play one of those three. Well, we are going to, if we get to the championship team, we are going to have to play one of those teams, but we'll definitely only have to play one of the three because two of them play each other on Tuesday and then one of them plays South Putnam on Friday. So, and Western Boone, it's really hard to gauge how well we would match up with since we haven't played them during the regular season. But based on, how they've done against us, I mean, we've tended to fare better than they have against our common opponents. I mean, for example, Plainfield beat Western Boone by 16, but only beat us by 6. Tri-West beat Western Boone by 13, and we beat Tri-West by 2. Danville beat Western Boone by 25 and beat us by 13. So, and looking at common opponents doesn't mean everything, but it does give a clue. So, basically, there's no reason to think that we're not going to have at least a fair shot to win that game. And let's look at what John Harrell's Indiana High School basketball site says. They have a computerized formula that's determined that the chance that they've rated the chance that each of the 6 teams has to win the sectional. Cascade is in first place. They're given a 35.4 chance to win the sectional, followed by South Putnam close behind at 31%, Cloverdale at 17.3%, Western Boone at 9.2%, Monrovia at 7%, and North Putnam at 0.1%. That's not 1%, but 0.1%. And they even go further as to give the odds of each team to win one of the further sectors of the tournament. Cascade's given a 4.8% chance to win the regional, a 1.3% chance to win the semi-state, and a 0.4 chance to win the state. So hopefully, the odds for the sectional will prove right, and Cascade will get its its first sectional win in 11 years and only its third win ever, only third sectional championship ever. And it would especially be sweet, to help slay the very painful memory of that loss that we had last year in the sectional to South Putnam, and ruining the season of perhaps the greatest team in Cascade history. So certainly it would be great for us to complete the redemption, and there would be another another sweet irony about that game if we were to win the sectional, because when we one thing that made me so ecstatic about winning the Cloverdale game is not only how dramatic the comeback win was, coming back from 18 down to win by to win in double overtime, but also that it evened our record at 500 for the first time all season. And I really wanted us to win the next night against South Putnam to go above 500. However, we lost our next 3 games, certainly with mitigating circumstances. We had 2 games in the next in the next 48 hours, one of them against a Class 4A team. And then, so we lost both of those games and then lost our senior day game this Tuesday against Avon to drop 3 games below 500. But then we moved within 2 games of 500 again with the win over Speedway on Thursday. And we would even if we were to beat North Putnam on Tuesday night and then Monrovia on Friday night, that would even our record on 500, or even our record at 500, and then finally the championship game win would move us above 500 for the first time all season, and how sweet that would be. And one thing I think that will also play into our favor with this draw. Now, granted, it would have been nice to get the bye, even though we lost, in our first game despite having the bye last year. But because of the way this tournament is set up, we know, who our first round opponent is going to be right off the bat. We don't have to wait and see who wins another game. So ever since winning the Speedway game on Thursday night, we've had basically, all that time to prepare for North Putnam to make sure that, we really have a good game plan for them. And then if we win that game, then we'll be able to devote all day practice. We'll be able to devote all of practice on Wednesday and Thursday to preparing for that game. And then whoever, assuming that Western Boone we've never played, but if we play Cloverdale or South Putnam for the sectional championship, well, we already played Cloverdale once and South Putnam twice. So again, we know how to prepare for them. So, we won the game against, we won our only game against Cloverdale, split the 2 games against South Putnam. So certainly we know we're capable of beating either team. So anyway, again, I hope you all will get out here for all 3 days, make a lot of noise, let these ladies know that you're behind them, and hopefully cheer them on to their first sectional championship in 11 years. And that would just be so big for this program, which has been, an above-average Class 2A program for a long time. But what we've really been lacking is the postseason accomplishments. And I think this year, last year we had a better shot to do it, but this year, we can, help slay those demons. Just like, when the Colts, when in my estimation, the best team of the Indianapolis era, they flamed out and lost to Pittsburgh in a very painful, crushing loss in the 2005 playoffs. Next year, they weren't quite as good, but, came back and won the Super Bowl. So hopefully, there will be a similar story for the Lady Cadets this season. But hopefully we'll, get a bunch of rabid cadet fans here making a lot of noise. And hopefully the ladies will show up prepared, just come up with a good game plan. Last year, I really believe that what sunk us in that South Putnam loss in the playoffs, we beat them by 22 at their place in the regular season. We thought we could beat them again at our place just by showing up. And meanwhile, South Putnam learned from that loss, and they came out swinging, and we weren't prepared for it. And I think we are going to be prepared this year and make sure that there's not another letdown. We might not win the sectional, but I think this time, we're going to show up prepared for all of our games. And like I said, if we lose, it's okay as long as we play our best, so that the girls, in the end, they look back with no regrets, knowing they did the absolute best they could. And when you did the best you can, no matter what the result is, you can always be at peace, and knowing that you have nothing to be ashamed of. So anyway, again, hope to see you all out here Tuesday. I'll be here. We will be bringing you all the tournament games here on audiosportsonline.com as long as they last. I believe, unfortunately, under IHSAA rules, they will be audio only because the IHSAA retains all video rights unless they've changed the rules this year. I will check on that. But nevertheless, we will be bringing you all the Cascade games as long as they last in the tournament for the boys and for the girls. So let's fill this place to the rafters with cadet fans making a lot of noise and cheering our girls on to victory. Well, this concludes our broadcast. Once again, your final score here tonight in this boys basketball game, Cascade 56, Speedway 45. The Cadets improved to 7-10 on the season and finally get their first winning streak, while the Sparkplugs dropped to 1-12. As always, thank you so much for joining me, and I cordially invite you to do so again on Tuesday night at the special start time of 5:45 p.m. for the pregame show, as the Cascade Lady Cadets Open Tournament play against the North Putnam Lady Cougars. And then our next boys broadcast will be 2 weeks from tonight at 7:15 p.m. as the Cadets host the Plainfield Quakers. Until we meet again, for audiosportsonline.com, this is Lec Zorn reminding you there is a difference only you can make.